Good morning. My name is Rudy Samsell, and I am the co-founder of GuysWithRides.com, the only dealer-free website for classic car enthusiasts. This 7-minute video is a condensed version of my 1-hour presentation titled Navigating the Classic Car Auction Seas. During my presentation, I take attendees through the current classic car auction market trends, how to determine whether auctions are right for them, how to accurately determine the condition of their car and price it appropriately, as well as what happens after the sale in an online classic car auction. Are you looking for presenters for an upcoming classic car meeting? If you're in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania tri-state area, I can attend in person, or if you're outside that area, I have the technology to do an effective online presentation. And if you're interested in having a full presentation, you can call me at 877-468-6497 or email me at rudy@guyswithrides.com. Enjoy the video and thank you for watching.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Rudy Samsell, and I am the co-founder of GuysWithRides.com, the only dealer-free website for classic car enthusiasts. What I'm going to talk about today, again, this is not a sales pitch for Guys with Rides, but because I'm always involved day in and day out watching the auction community, I thought it would be good to give fellow AACA members a perspective on what's going on in the classic car auction space, and we'll go through that. I'm going to talk about classic car market auction trends, and candidly, are online auctions, or any auction for that matter, are they right for you? They're not right for everyone. I'm going to dispel about 8 myths as we go through this. And if you've ever heard, there's 4 P's to marketing: product, price, promotion, and place. I'm going to talk about 2 of those today. The product is the car, right? Typically it's a classic car that looks good. The keys when selling a classic car are the price and the place. So then I'm going to talk about the buy side and the sell side, and then what happens. I get this question more often than not. What happens after the auction closes on an online event? Let's talk about where the auction market, the online market, is right now. Last year when I was doing this presentation, my one-word answer was growth. My one-word answer this year is stabilization. So you see in 2022, the growth was tremendous. That was like a 25% growth in the number of listings. But last year we were only up 5% online. And I want to keep something in perspective here. As much as these numbers are growing, only 1 in 8 classic cars are sold at auction, either online or traditional venue. And then you see dollar volume, though, even though we were up 5% in terms of units, the overall dollar volume actually decreased about 3% versus the 48% growth in 2022. So again, that's stabilization. Prices, average prices, you can hear all kinds of things going on. And the answer on pricing is, it depends. Classic cop-out. It depends on the car. The macro level, you see prices are off a little bit, but not much. Some cars are continuing to grow. Where I'm seeing softness is in the cars under $50,000. You have to look at what's going on with the economy. Now, the cars under $50,000 tend to be bought by Gen Xers and millennials. And so you've got things like interest rates now. We used to have free money for the longest time up until about a year and a half ago. Now, a classic car loan recently, they're hovering around 9 or 10%. So the money's not free anymore. And I think there's a lot of angst in people's minds. You hear every day, you're hearing layoffs and stuff. So people are saying, you know what, I might hold off on this car purchase a little bit. I think you're seeing a lot of that in the under 50,000 crowd. And then I really watch Gen X as the cohort right now for market shifts. That's how you have to think of the market. It's shifting, and it's shifting to these 70s and 80s and 90s cars. So the online auction, ocean. So you see there's a bunch of players listed there, and I like to think of it as, depending on who you use, you're swimming with the sharks. That's why I'm having this thing. I want people to understand how these work and what to look for. Online classic car auctions are here to stay. It's clear. COVID helped. When everybody was locked up, online auctions really took off. And you see it's now a $1.6 billion market in the that's just the U.S. Only 1 in 7 classic cars are being sold at auction. So that market is actually a bigger nut when you take into the private sales that nobody knows about. And what you see in that bottom one, in terms of number of vehicles, the blue on the right, online auctions have now surpassed in-person venues. Here's the current online auction players. These are all the ones that are left over that just could not build the community and keep going. Bring a trailer. If you get their monthly report, they'll say, oh, we had 78, 80% sell-through. They'll say 1,200 of those lots were no reserve. Well, of course, those sold. What they're reporting is that green line. They said, oh, look at us. We can sell anything. We're in the 75 to 80% range. However, when you net out a no reserve, there's more stories about that where the reserve, when you look at that red line, and the blue line is what they're talking people, hey, we're bring a trailer. You want to put it up for no reserve. It's going to sell. It's going to sell. It's going to sell. It's not selling, and then you get these people buying their own vehicles back to avoid it. Not everything is as rosy as it's pictured here. When you look at that red line, their true sell-through rate is in the
high 40s,
not the 80s. So I'm going to talk about pricing a classic car. One of the 4 Ps and a key one. The fourth myth I talk about is, and I have these conversations almost weekly, and my first tell is, I'll ask a seller when they call me, well, what do you want to get out of the car? And if they say, well, I've got X into it, I know, okay, this is going to be a bad conversation. I mean, because that's not what you have into your ride is not what it's worth. We have to remember these are depreciating assets. If you make a little money or you break even, a lawyer once told me pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. And that's what you have to remember when pricing a car. Myth number 5, I hear this a fair amount, or you see it in Craigslist ad. Well, I saw my car just like it go over across Barrett-Jackson for $300,000, so I want $250,000 for my car. Not going to happen. And I love to do this to Nurse Nancy. So there's something called egos and the endowment effect. So if we go to an auction, Nancy's not allowed to have a paddle. Why is that, Doll?
Because it's my car, I want it.
Yeah, so she said, that's my car, I bid on it. That's the endowment effect. Once you bid on it and somebody else comes in and bids higher, you're like, wait a minute. I'm going to get this car. And that's what they play on. There's a reason booze is free at these events. So you have to remember that. One of the good things coming out of the internet is what I call data democratization. And that's where, appraisers, dealers, and auctions once held all the cars on what a car's worth. So we talk about data literacy. There's 3 legs of the stool. Data literacy, all the pricing data is relatively, you saw the graphs earlier, a wealth of information out there, as well as the access, and easy to use analytical tools. If you've got a fairly common car, you can figure out the price